first person to raise their hand in class because they think they know everything. Because A comes first. Always. And A is in so many things. It's like A is involved in all these clubs and organizations. And you're like, A, calm down.
Calm the F down.
A-type personality.
What's F?
F is rebellious. F is the rebellious letter because he doesn't like being messed with, especially by P and H. Because when P and H get together, it sounds like F. It's like they're mocking him.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like it. So he misbehaves and joins bad groups. And they create bad things like fuck. That's how I feel about the alphabet. B tries really hard, but he just always comes in second place. Like, he's never good enough. He's the one that works really, really hard, and then he goes and competes in the race, and he comes in second.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, A has to always win.
Mm-hmm.
A has to come first, and B comes next. He's never B for best. Like he should be. A always gets it. A always wins.
Mm-hmm.
And C is that one that tags along purely for survival reasons. C clings to A as much as possible so he can survive because he's afraid of being left behind and being at the end of the stack. Now Z and X are wise and unique and they have their own gang. So W, X, Y, and Z, they're their own gang. They're the smarter ones and the more unique. And they don't spend their energy anywhere unless they have to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're so hard to find. X is very reserved, but at the same time, she is super big into herself. Yes, X is a she. She has a lot of respect for herself and does not like being messed with. And she will only come out here and there whenever she thinks that she is truly needed. Or they beg her to come out because they can't find anyone else to do the job. Like Xylophone, they wanted Z, but Z is like, no. I'm too good for this. So they begged X to help out. So X will help out, but only if you get on like your hands and knees and beg her. Because she is full of herself. But at the same time, she's still wise. She uses her energy very sparingly so she can last forever. Because if you think about it, X is used in so many important situations, like math. If X didn't exist, it would get messed up. We need X. And even the plus sign is just a crooked X. Like, she did so much. She bent over backwards to help the mathematic world.
She bent over backwards.
And then the division sign, X got hurt trying to help out with that. That's why it's a broken X. So she's like, I did my part. So that's why you don't see X very much. I've always felt this way about the alphabet and numbers since I learned what they were. They've always had personalities to me. I've always had letters I liked using more than others.
Now, what about your name?
Because I like their personalities better.
What about the letters?
What about K?
Kelsey. Oh, K is really nice. K's the really nice aunt. She really is. She's a really, really nice aunt, and she tries to do her best to, like, bridge gaps in between, like, bad situations or really what could be odd words if K wasn't there. And Kay's like the cool aunt. You want to pair up with Kay so bad, but she'll only pick up certain people. She's really nice to C. That's why you see them together a lot. She feels bad for C. C's like the one that tags along, and she knows that like C isn't worth all that much. But she'll bring him along in partner. She elevates him. Yeah, she helps bring him up. Like, she tries to put him under her wing. So you see them paired together a lot, and they work pretty well together, but Kay's also got other stuff to do. And E is the troublemaker. E is the young child, like the only child of the family that just wants all the attention. He even doubles up if that's what it takes to get attention. You'll see two of them together, and it's just a nightmare what they can do.
What about L?
L is another aunt. L is another aunt. L is a sweet aunt. She tries to make every group as harmonious as possible, but but she doesn't like being anywhere except the beginning and the very end. It's like she's the leader or she's the one that's like herding the sheep.
Mm-hmm. And S?
S to me changes back and forth between a male and a female. So I guess you could say S is like almost bisexual or transgender. S goes back and forth. I go back and forth between seeing S as like an uncle with good intentions but doesn't always do things right, and it being an aunt that just kind of shows up and helps out when needed, but she's not always needed.
Kind of fluid, you know.
And what's
But
comes and goes.
E's the rebellious one.
Okay.
The young only
We did
child in
A.
the family that's used to having like all the attention.
What about M?
M I think of as a mother, maybe because it's part of the word mother, but I think of M as a mother. And mother, like the shape of the M with the two like lines on the side, it's like she's reaching out to try and hold everyone's hand and make them feel better. So you'll see her at like as a leader, you'll see her in the back trying to herd the sheep, you'll see her right in the center trying to like spread people out and break up fights, but M's the mom, the maternal one.
And we know what he is.
H.
What's R?
R is the really pretty cousin. R is really pretty, and she likes to pair up with either those that are influential or those who will get her in the spotlight, like E. E loves attention. If you're near E, you're gonna get attention. So it's almost like her and E will work as partners on certain things, but R's not in it for the long run. She's only there when it benefits her. R's the really pretty one, like the one that wins beauty pageants.
How about D?
D, I think... I don't have a clear vision of D. I feel like D's kind of the mysterious uncle. Like, I don't know him very well.
What about T?
We already talked about T. Didn't we talk about T?
No.
I feel like T likes to be in front of everything.
Tension.
Tom likes being at the beginning, but T can also compromise and pair up with H.
And what about H?
I don't know. I feel like H is kind of quiet and withdrawn, like conservative. You don't hear much from H, actually.
How about O?
O, I feel like is very open-minded. Kind of like a hippie willing to just go with the flow.
O goes with the flow.
Yeah.
There you
O
go.
goes with the flow.
We did M already.
Yeah.
We did A. We did
I.
I. What's I?
I feel like has more than one personality. It depends on the day. It's one of those people that's like bipolar. I is bipolar. He either wants to be alone sometimes or he really wants to socialize and work with other people. It's one or the other.
J.
Jay's the big overweight guy. He's the really overweight friend that everybody loves, but there's just not a lot of use for him because he's so big.
I happen to fit that profile, by the way.
He's just too big.
How about another letter?
They involve him like it can, but there's just not a lot of use for him.
How about N?
N is very, very jealous. N is extremely jealous of M. So N tries really hard to be like M, but N he can't do it. He doesn't have the personality traits that M does. So he'll try to like dress and look like M, but he'll never really be M.
What's a Q?
The Q?
Ooh.
Oh, the Q is also like X. Q and X are very, very similar. They'll both help out either on occasion or when they're absolutely begged because there's no one else who can do the job.
Unique.
So Q is very unique.
P.
P is also an aunt. P is an aunt that tries to be responsible for everybody, but she can't do it all by herself. So she'll try and keep everybody together, but there's only certain roles that P can fulfill.
You?
You, I feel like, is like one of the oldest relatives and someone who is a people person. You can work with almost anybody, but you will only work with certain people when you thinks it's necessary. For example, Q, like X, is very reserved and doesn't like coming out very often. So you will come along and help Q do her work, but you is also willing to help just about anybody. Almost like a priest. I think of you as sort of like a priest or a pastor, just like going to help the poor, trying to make the world a better place. It's the oldest one. It's the old man that you don't listen to, and until he comes along and makes your work better, you don't understand why you should have listened to him.
How about G?
Oh, G's a really fun uncle. He's super, super fun, but I imagine G has a bit of a mouth on him. Like, sometimes he'll say really rude stuff, but he's still your favorite uncle. Like, he brings your kids all the unhealthy toys and the dangerous stuff, like the BB gun for the 5-year-old. Like, that came from Uncle G.
Uncle G. A Christmas Story guy.
Yes, Christmas Story guy. That's Uncle G. Exactly. That's Uncle G.
We missed the numbers. We have to do 0.
We did A, B, C. Did we do D?
Yeah. We did D, E.
D was really
we did F.
mysterious and quiet.
F.
G, H, I, J,
F is
K,
the troublemaker.
I.
Yeah.
Very
We did that.
J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Yeah.
Q, R. Did we
Oh,
do R?
W. W is also a very wise one. W is probably like Dumbledore. A lot of hidden talents. Sometimes works in the backgrounds, like you see him, but you don't realize how much he's actually contributing. Like, for example, the word whole. You think it's all H doing the work. It's not. W's helping out there.
Doing half the work.
And
Yeah.
W doesn't protest when nobody notices it. And who? There you go again. H gets all the credit, even though W's helping out.
Do we hit them all?
I think so. Oh, Y. Y is a female. Y is a female, and she is very, very proud of the work that she has accomplished. She has a tendency to like being the leader, but more often than not, she ends up having to herd the sheep and make sure that nobody gets lost, so she ends up at the end. Just to make it clear the meaning of the word, she has to be at the end to clarify things. She's like that last filter. She's like that relative that's super clean. Like, if you go to her house, everything is spotless. And if you write a paper, she'll read it for you and give you feedback. Wise like a teacher.
Any numbers you want to go over? 0, 1, 2, 3?
I just feel very strongly about 7. That
Yeah,
7's
okay.
that really, really annoying aunt. I don't get along well with 7. I'll use her when I need her, but we don't get along very well. And 8, like, I love him, but at one point, like I said, when it comes to like multiplication, I've just had enough.
It's a side of you I didn't know. Very into it. I like it.
9, I do like 9 though.
Yeah.
When it comes to multiplication, 9 is really, really cool. 9 is easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 is probably the most reliable one. Like, you can if you tell 5 to do something, he's gonna get it done. Like, 5 is so important for telling time, and you know he's gonna do his part. You know he's gonna be there. He's not gonna shift around on the clock, and what was once 10 minutes now he represents 11. Be like, hey, I told you need to represent 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, and so on. Why are you shifting over to 14 or 16? Like,
Reliable.
he's very reliable. Number 5 is very reliable. I'm always happy to work with 5.
I don't want to miss a thing, but I have to go to the bathroom.